Hello and welcome to Pearl Magazine. Soy sauce is a key ingredient in many dishes, whether it's at a restaurant or at home. The process of making soy sauce is long and difficult. And with a profit margin being relatively low, some local soy sauce makers are forced to move their operations to mainland China. In order to preserve this long-standing industry of Hong Kong and attract new investors, new technology is being applied. Gabby Xu has the story.
After they taste them, they still prefer our made in Hong Kong products.
My boss said my talent was being wasted. He asked me if I was interested in picking my own profession.
These 200 cylinders inside this soy sauce factory allows fermentation to be done naturally and traditionally. It is intended for the overseas market.
Soybeans are on top and then the sauce is underneath. People often say young soil and old soil. You have to pull them up via a tube. So chow is pull.
At overseas markets, consumers can find many food products made in Hong Kong, with soy sauce making up a sizable portion. Hong Kong has been exporting their sauce for over a century.
My grandfather started this business in 1917. He didn't think about the domestic market. All the products were exported, starting with Southeast Asia for the Chinese in Malaysia.
As Chinese started migrating elsewhere, their products followed, and one could buy them in Europe, South America, and the Caribbean. Now 90% of their products are exported, with only 10% sold in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong has a limited population and limited land. You can imagine just a few European countries, even just one US state, has more people than Hong Kong. Hong Kong has 7 million people. If everyone buys one bottle from me, it's not a good sales figure. I can tell you in Europe, the Netherlands is our biggest market.
He says his orders from overseas require the products be made in Hong Kong. Only buyers from smaller countries will ask for made in China products.
Generally, our product users also try out other brands, like those made in China. After they taste them, they still prefer our made in Hong Kong products. We believe in our competitive edge, whether it's our management, quality assurance, prompt delivery, and good services. They prefer made in Hong Kong.
Despite this specific interest from buyers, his company has moved most of the processing steps to their mainland facilities because of the high cost of land here. Only their quality checking operations remain in Hong Kong.
The main beans cooking and fermentation are in the mainland, roughly 90% of the production process. The mainland has land and manpower as much as you need, and at a low cost. Land is scarce and expensive in Hong Kong. Our sauce industry needs a lot of land to leave soy sauce under the sun.
But the lack of land is not the only problem the industry is facing.
There's no young people joining the trade. Our offspring and those of my business partners, they study overseas and don't return. First, they're not interested, and secondly, it's tough work. Our generation don't want to put pressure on the next generation. Just let them do whatever they want.
Making soy sauce may be hard work, but it has given one man a second chance.
I said I wouldn't make soy sauce due to the low profit compared with F&B industry.
Uncle Man used to run 9 restaurants, selling things like noodles and fish balls, making hundreds of thousands a month. His wealth once grew to over $200 million. But as he battled the financial crisis in 1997 to 98, SARS, and his gambling addiction, he eventually lost everything.
I went to work as an interior decoration worker, carrying cement up and down 8 stories by stairs. I had no choice. I was almost 50 by then.
A decoration company owner saw his potential and decided to lend him money to restart his career.
My boss said my talent was being wasted. He asked me if I was interested in picking my own profession and asked me how much money I needed. I said with my palette talent, I should be able to make money. I asked for 1 million, but he only lent me 100,000 to start a sauce business.
His sauce has since been selling well. It's available at 600 retail outlets and widely used by many eateries. He even exports to Singapore and Malaysia. The ability to cater to a wide market demand and expand overseas was made possible by automation.
Since 2019, we started using machine to lighten the load on manual labor. The production speed is up 6 times. We used to need 4 hours to make a pot of sauce. Now we only need 2 hours. And it's a bigger pot, 3 times the size of the original pot.
The government has been encouraging these local companies to adopt new technology. The Innovation and Technology Commission has a maximum funding of $15 million per company. It has funded the 2 sauce companies with a total of $17 million.
I think the sauce industry in Hong Kong has a very positive future because for the sauce industry, the taste cannot be changed easily. If you are used to this kind of soy sauce or chili sauce, it is not easy for anyone to change the taste.
He says the sector has significant economic value to Hong Kong. Out of the total $6.4 billion of all Hong Kong locally produced goods being exported, about $1 billion is from the sauce industry.
Export from Hong Kong is pretty stable because people will see the made in Hong Kong is a very strong brand. Even if you have moved overseas, they would love to have the Hong Kong product, especially, as I said, the sauce product or the food product. It gave them a sense of the Hong Kong taste that they all miss. So this is a very stable industry once you've got your brand established and your taste actually well accepted by the different people.
One academic says the industry can diversify to cater to different market segments so that consumers from both the higher and lower ends can be served.
We already have some sauce company which produce sauce at mass scale in the factory. But the reason why those small sauce companies still insist on like a traditional method is that it's more natural, it's more healthy, and it's actually more tasty. Their goal is not to mass produce. Some of their owners, they do not want to do this. They just want to maintain their brand and keep their reputation.
He says the biggest problem for the industry is passing on the business. After all, what makes their sauce popular is their secret recipe, and that has to remain confidential. If they can't find a family member to succeed them, some owners may just shut down for good when they retire. Animals with disabilities meet people with big hearts when Pearl Magazine returns. Stay with us. Welcome back to Pearl Magazine. Hong Kong people love keeping pets, whether it's a cat, dog, hamster, or goldfish. But for animals with disabilities, it takes a big heart and a lot of patience from both owners and volunteers to take care of them.
Their will is also very strong. Maybe they don't even think it's a big deal. If we humans can help, we should try our best.
We don't always need to carry him. It is probably because of his special physical condition that people are not very wary of it.
Don't be discriminatory, she's no different from ordinary dogs.
Actually, when you look at it like this, its posture looks very good.
Gary Aids is the head of the Fauna Conservation Department of Kadoorie Farm and Botanic Garden. Today, he's visiting the Wild Animal Rescue Center to check several tortoises that were rescued from smugglers.
Hello. Do you recognize this?
The center receives about 3,000 to 4,000 wild animals every year. After being inspected, animals that are able to survive in the wild are released. However, some animals, those with disabilities and non-native species, cannot be released directly into the wild in Hong Kong. So they're kept in captivity.
Some of them are physically disabled, so they may have a deformed bone. And so a bird with a deformed bone in the wing, it can't fly properly, so it would not be right to release it back to the wild. It would be actually quite cruel to do that.
This tortoise has lost his forelimbs. Gary and his colleagues use rubber bands to help him exercise his mobility. They've also tried installing 4 wheels under his shell to help him crawl.
To try to help it adapt with those 3 legs is quite important for critically endangered species. At the moment, they came up with the golf ball idea, which is really good because it's keeping the body sort of balanced. And we just noticed, even when it was feeding, the golf ball was lifted off the ground, which is good because it means it's using the muscles in its right front leg, which is really what we want to see. We don't want the animals to become lazy. Turn around, yeah. That's good. They could still be part of a breeding program which helps the population to recover. So, for instance, one day in Madagascar, maybe the government will want some Madagascar tortoises back to re-establish them in the wild because they're so rare. And the disabled animal may actually be breeding healthy animals. So that's kind of an argument for putting extra effort into looking after them.
Happy， 邊個叫你啊？我哋抹下啲口水先好唔好啊？佢醜樣啊！
Whether the disability is congenital or caused by an accident, it's tough for animals to adapt.
Happy 有啲緊張係咪啊？好耐冇見嘅小朋友啊，係咪啊？係啦，我哋今日一齊行啦。好啦 ，Good boy，Go go go。
Vicky has been taking care of Happy since he was a few months old. It's been 10 years now that he's been part of her family. Although Happy is missing his right hind leg, Vicky doesn't find caring for him troublesome at all.
Happy 呢個名咧係
The name Happy was chosen by the vet who performed the amputation operation on him because he thought the dog had an optimistic personality. We don't always need to carry him. Just when he was younger, we put him in a bag to go out because it's more convenient.
Vicky takes Happy hiking once a week, and they've made more friends because of this.
真係好耐冇見過 Happy 嘅啫。
係啦，熱啊嘛，頭先夏天，所以唔嚟住咯，係啊。
好乖㗎。
係啊。
係人都識佢嘅真係。
咁有啲人見到都會覺得 OK， 佢3隻腳。
Some people saw Happy and they were deeply impressed that he ran well on 3 legs. So more people would stop and chat with you.
即係人去可能停低同你傾兩句啊，好記得就係有個婆婆咁。
I remember a senior lady who was thrilled every time she saw Happy. After chatting for a few times, I found out that she is actually afraid of dogs. But the only dog she's not afraid of is Happy.
可能就係因為佢。
It is probably because of his special physical condition that people are not very wary of it.
對佢冇咁大嘅戒心。喂，我有嘢食喎 ，Happy 仔，我要先，我要先。
Cherry is Vicky's good friend. They walk the dogs together. She thinks Happy is no different from other healthy pets.
In the beginning, I wondered whether it would be difficult to get along with the dog. When a dog has physical disability, usually it would have less self-confidence.
做咩嘢呀？你唔中意沙律咩？係咯，問下你啫嘛。喂，流啦。
Vicky's neighbor, a volunteer who rescues animals, once told her that there was a puppy that needed an amputation due to infection and was waiting for adoption. His situation was similar to Vicky's previous dog that had just passed away, so she decided to give him a home. At the time, she had 2 dogs, and she was worried they might not get along, but fortunately, they did.
我哋當時有2隻即係金毛尋回犬啦。
We had 2 golden retrievers at the time, and one of them was actually a bit resistant to Happy. It had never been in contact with puppies, and it was a little overwhelmed. But after a week, they found a way to get along, and basically lived harmoniously all the time.
咁一齊即係生活。好啦，去買嘢食啦。
Because Happy is missing a leg, it's even more important to keep his weight under control since it could affect his mobility. So Vicky rarely gives Happy snacks. But every time she goes to the pet store, she looks out for supplements that are suitable for him.
咦，我咧聽人講咧話食嗰個青口素啊，即係對嗰啲關節好啲。
係啊，基本上大部分關節嘅用品都有青口素。
因為得翻一隻腳嗰個問題啦。
With only one hind leg left, the load on that joint will be relatively heavy. He needs to take these supplements to make it stronger, or to prevent it from degenerating so quickly.
譬如幾百蚊一樽嘅supplement咁樣啦，但係其實
A bottle of supplements costs a few $100s, but it lasts for 2 months, so not too expensive.
唔係話即係好多嘅錢咁樣咯。小王啊，記唔記得啊？係啊，好耐冇見呢。
Vicky's friend Gabby also has a 3-legged dog. They often meet up and share their experiences with each other.
佢而家學緊坐輪椅。坐輪椅，哦，即係買咗個嗰個輔助架俾佢，買咗個前輪椅咯。咁但係因為佢慣咗係跳咁行路啊嘛，咁點解佢而家要咁樣行路咧？就佢唔識協調。
Sue Wong and Happy have a lot in common. The 2 disabled fur babies are both cheerful and loving.
Many people can't differentiate Sue Wong from Happy. Don't be discriminatory. In fact, she's no different from ordinary dogs.
However, unlike Happy, 3-year-old Sue Wong is still looking for her forever home, and Gabby is just her foster parent.
The dog center called me and asked if I could temporarily take care of another dog because she needs to lose weight. Now I've been taking care of her for 4 months. There are too many abandoned dogs in Hong Kong now. If I adopt Sue Wong, I can only save 1 dog. But if I help with fostering after Sue Wong is adopted, I can help other dogs. We need to find a suitable family for her, which is more important than rushing to find a family. Because if it's someone who's clearly not prepared to welcome a dog, especially a disabled one, it is very uncomfortable for them to be sent back.
there are actually quite a few animals waiting to be adopted. This center in Yuen Long houses dozens of stray dogs, hoping to be taken in by someone wanting to add to their family. Emily is a volunteer here. She's responsible for caring for 2 paralyzed dogs. From time to time, she needs to see if they need to change their diapers.
Actually, taking care of disabled dogs, as you can see, I'm always sweating profusely. Sometimes I may not have sufficient strength to carry them, so it is an easy job for me. Their life is miserable. They can't live a healthy life. But you see, they are very happy and active. Their will is also very strong. Maybe they don't even think it's a big deal. If we humans can help, we should try our best.
That's our show for this week. Join us on Pearl Magazine, same time next week. Merry Christmas and see you next year.